All right, guys, I have a special treat for you today. A little bit of a different environment. We're here at a communicators seminar, and I'm with an amazing communicator. This is Joseph Dozier, and he is going to really spend the next 5 days with us just breaking down some common mistakes that new communicators make. Now, that was a long time ago for you, Joseph. Being a new communicator was you sure you remember some of the things?
I am pretty sure I remember everything. The first ever sermon that I ever preached was back in 2013. It's still on YouTube. Do not look it up, by the way. I cringe every single time.
Oh man, well if you do look it up, wait till after you watch this video. That would be super helpful. Well, one of the things Joseph and I talked about was a lot of the different ways that new communicators make these little mistakes in the beginning.
Yes.
And you remember being a new communicator. I remember being a new communicator, and a lot of these mistakes resonated with us. And so today, the mistake we want to talk about was on our list, and it was overusing filler words.
Oh, I love this one.
Overusing. I'm telling you, when you first start out, there's a lot of words you naturally gravitate towards.
Yes.
Right? What was a word for you?
Pretty simple. Many words. I even still struggle to this day saying so at the end of my sentences.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I went to the beach I went to Virginia Beach the other day. So.
It's like a transition word for you, almost.
Yes.
Like your brain uses that word to signal it's time to transition into your next thought.
Yes. And sometimes that will be the last word, especially if I'm giving a leadership talk.
What do you mean by last word?
Like that will be the end of my sentence. I'll finish with the word so at the end of my sentence. Last word. It's like John Maxwell says, leadership is all about influence. So that's it.
Ooh, now is that so mark a time when the audience then responds? In your brain, is that where you're opening up for the audience to respond, or is that just the end of the talk?
That's just the end of the talk. That's
End of
just
the
the
talk?
end of the statement.
That's your exclamation point.
That's my exclamation point.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be, because that makes zero sense. To use that word, so, is a filler word at the end of my sentence, not just during my sentence.
Yeah. I was once in a training, and one of the speakers said the way that they learned to stop using filler words was you take a glass of your favorite soda, so maybe it's Mountain Dew or Coca-Cola, and you fill it halfway full, and then you start to give your speech, and every time you say so, like, any of those words, you pour water. You pour in a drop of water, and then you take a sip when you say the filler word. And then when you say it next time, you pour in some water and you take a sip. And the point of the exercise, as he explained it to me, was that's like your speech. That soda is so watered down, it doesn't have the good taste it originally had, if you like soda. Your speech, your message, what you're trying to communicate is being watered down by our filler words.
Wow.
Especially when it becomes distracting.
Yes.
Right? When all they can hear is the filler words, every other filler word. Now, I'm not saying don't put any filler words in there, because sometimes you're going to throw in a so, or a like, or a right. But if it's every 5th, 8th, 12th word, it really starts to become distracting and watering down the main thought that you're trying to get across. Anything you've done recently to help you isolate those words or to help you get over using them?
Yes, one of my favorite techniques, I just did it, I don't know if you caught it, is to use the pause.
The power of the pause.
It looks like this. Leadership is influence. I practice the pause, and whenever I'm trying to think about my words, I'm just going to pause for 1 to 2 seconds. That way my thoughts can recollect, and that way I'm not entering, what was I trying to say? That's very distracting. So one of the tools or techniques that I've tried to implement is the pause.
That's so good. That's so good. I have a similar one, and that is you have your dominant point, core message, which we'll talk about later. You have your dominant point, and then you have all these subpoints that lead to that point. So one of the things that helps me is to know what I'm driving towards. So when I hit a subpoint in what I'm trying to communicate that's leading to the big point, I'm then going to also drive to the next subpoint, because if I'm not clear on where I'm driving to, then what you just said happens. My brain starts to go in all different directions. My mouth starts moving faster. But if I know exactly where I want to end, the subpoint I'm trying to get to, I use a lot less filler words.
Wow.
Because I'm not doing that mind searching,
Yes.
that mind safari, trying to figure out what is it that I'm trying to say. So I think having a clear message and being mentally present to take those pauses and to know that a transition is coming and what you're driving to is a helpful way to eliminate those filler words.
That's really good.
One more thing that I want you to think about. Record yourself organically. 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Pick a topic. Don't have it something you talk about every day. Just pick a topic, record yourself 3 to 5 minutes, and listen back and see what's distracting. What are you saying over and over again? What filler words do you naturally use? And I think that's going to help you become a better communicator. We'll see you tomorrow.